Hello, fictional. Welcome to the What If Issei. Today we are gonna see, what if Issei got harem with Rias and Ophis? Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. A baby cry sound was heard in a room of a hospital. The baby boy was born. His father was holding him gently with happiness, he tried to stop letting his emotion control him. But as he imagined about the family's happy life when the baby boy joined the family, tears began to gather in his eyes. Once the first tear broke free, the rest followed in an unbroken stream. The baby's father, Mr. Hyoudou, was crying with joy. His dream to have a boy came into fruition. He looked at the baby, noticing his eyes didn't move together smoothly. He smiled warmly as he knew that it was a normal phenomenon. He then turned to his wife, Mrs. Hyoudou, who was lying on the bed. "What should we call our wonder son? How about Issei? Hyoudou Issei," Mr. Hyoudou said with a bright smile. "Yes. Let's call him Issei. My son," Mrs. Hyoudou said while holding tears in her eyes. She used all her energy for her to sit properly, holding Issei from her husband's hand. She looked at Issei, touching his skin which was wonderfully soft. She couldn't help but giggled of Issei's cuteness. After having a moment of the first mother and son time, a girl with a shapely figure came into the room. Her eyes was brown same as her hair, making the nurses and doctors stunned by her beauty. She went to the side of Mrs. Hyoudu's bed, attracted by the wonderfulness of the baby. "So dad, is that my brother?" The girl called Hyoudou Yukina asked with an exciting tone. "Yes dear, this is your brother Hyoudou Issei, the newest member of the Hyoudou family," Mr. Hyoudou shouted while hugging his daughter. Yukina was embarrassed by the sudden hug from her father, but she was also happy as she finally had a brother to play with. Suddenly, the hospital was shaking. Mr. Hyoudou and Mrs. Hyoudou looked around, the doctor and the nurse inside the room were gone. The room was filled with darkness, close to block their vision. Yukina was trembling by the situation, she ran to the door trying to escape, but the door was locked from the outside, which was supposed to be impossible. Mr. Hyoudou came to her side, holding her head, comforting her as much as he can. However, he was also scared as he never faced situations like this. Mrs. Hyoudou, who was holding Issei, panicked as she didn't expect such situation to happen as well. Issei was probably shocked as he cried loudly and making everyone felt worried. A tall man with a nice figure appeared out of nowhere. He was holding a yellow glowing spear, making everyone stared at him. Mr. Hyoudou sensed that he was a threat, he looked at Yukina who was still trembling, holding her shoulders with a worried face. "Yukina. Get back. Hold Issei so he won't be in danger. Hurry." Mr. Hyoudou shouted towards Yukina. Yukina nodded and rushed to Mrs. Hyoudu's side, holding Issei tightly to protect him. "Who are you? Why are you here?" Mr. Hyoudou asked the man with a trembling tone. He could tell that the man standing in front of him was a powerful man. However, in order to protect his family, he stood up to confront the man himself. The man scratched his cheek, explained with an annoyed tone. "My name is Kokabiel. A fallen angel from the Bible. I'm one of the leaders of the fallen angel, and I'm here to kill your son. Your son held a sacred gear, which was harmful to the supernatural beings like us. If you are willing to step away from this, I will spare your life. However, if you refuse, I will make your body into thousands of pieces and throw it away to feed the hungry wolf in my dungeon. There is no way I will let you kill my son. I will now fight you for the peace of my family," Mr. Hyoudou said with determination. He tightened his fist and pointed towards to Kokabiel. However, Kokabiel had no sign of blocking his punch. Mr. Hyoudou grinned as he thought that he can protect his family. Kokabiel threw a spear passing through Mr. Hyoudu's stomach. He then crossed his arms and looked at Mrs. Hyoudou. Blood spread everywhere making Mrs. Hyoudou cried in pain. She couldn't thought that her husband was killed without any mercy from the enemy. She was both angry and sad that she stood up from her bed trying to avenge her husband. She stood up while gritting her teeth as the pain after the delivery still existed. Staring Kokabiel with a scary face, she screamed. "I don't know who you are or whatever the hell are you from, you killed my husband and I'm going to avenge him." Kokabiel sighed as he completely ignored her. He walked towards Issei while getting blocked by the human mother. Tilted from her action, he stabbed another yellow spear to her head, making her fall down. This time it was more serious as her face were no longer recognizable. Only blood was covering her face, making Yukina scared more than ever. She was traumatized by the whole scene, and her body couldn't stop shaking, as she just witnessed both of her parents getting killed by a powerful man. As Kokabiel got closer, Yukina walked back step by step until she felt she was blocked by the wall. She held her brother more even tightly wanting to protect him, but that's nothing she can do. Eager for assistance, she kept praying for God to help her even though she was never a Christian. However, none of that worked. No one came and saved her and her brother. "Just give up. This is your fate. Your fate is to get killed because of your brother. Curse him as he lead the death of yours." Kokabiel stated, making Yukina fell in apart. Kokabiel created another spear, pointed towards Yukina. Yukina finally gave up hope as she looked at him emotionlessly. However, the fact that she still held Issei tightly made him feel irritated. Issei was calmed by the warmth of the hug, but Yukina was scared as she knew that both of them will die. He threw his spear towards Yukina. Realizing this was fate, Yukina closed her eyes, slowly waiting for her death. Unexpectedly, a lowly girl appeared suddenly, causing the spear to stop on its own. "Who are you? Why you are here stopping my plan?" Kokabiel shouted. However, he started to tremble after sensing the girl's aura. Her aura was unexpectedly high, he sensed there were no limits of her energy. "I'm Ophis, Ouroboros dragon. The dragon of infinity." Ophis introduced herself with a monotone, making Kokabiel fall on the ground, shaking with fear. "Ophis. No, please don't kill me." Kokabiel begged for mercy, making Ophis sighed. "I'm just going to let you go. If you dare to harm this baby, I will kill you," Ophis said. Kokabiel teleported himself away while having fear in his eyes. Ophis turned and looked at Yukina. Yukina was shocked by the events happening right now. She didn't know what the hell was going on. Her parents were killed by a so-called fallen angel. She almost got killed, but a lowly girl called Ophis rescued her. Ophis turned herself towards Yukina and walked to her side slowly. Yukina was unsure of Ophis' next action, making her shaking again, but not as much when Kokabiel trying to kill her. "I will not harm you. After all, the reason I'm here is to fuse myself into this baby's sacred gear," Ophis said while patting Yukina's head. Yukina felt a little bit relieved but was confused about what Ophis said. What is a sacred gear?" Yukina asked. "Before I explain, do you believe God from the Bible?" Ophis asked. "Not before this," Yukina replied. "Well, God is real. Fallen angels, devils, angels from the Bible are all real. Everything related about them are real," Ophis said, making Yukina blew away. "What?" Yukina shouted. "Wah. Baby," Issei cried as Yukina shouted too loudly. "Don't scream that loud. He will cry. I will cast a sleep spell of him so I can continue my explanation," Ophis said as she took out her finger and she placed on Issei's forehead. After that, Issei stopped crying and slept. "Okay, let me continue. Sacred gear is created by the God of the Bible. He created as part of his system to enact miracles on earth. He also wanted to help human to confront with the supernatural such as devils. Your brother is one of the sacred gear possessors. If the sacred gear is removed, the possessors will die," Ophis explained, making Yukina to understand more about supernatural. "So, I heard that you are the dragon god, right? Are you the strongest in this world?" Yukina asked. "Yes. I'm the strongest existence existed in this world. In fact, the universe. However, one more existence could compete with me. He is the Apocalypse Dragon, Great Red. He is also the Dragon of Dreams, similar to Infinity," Ophis said. "Okay, I learned enough. Then why are you here?" Yukina asked as she really wanted to know why the strongest existence in the universe came here to save her brother. "Originally, I wanted to fight Great Red, who was residing in the Dimension Gap. The Dimension Gap was my original home before Great Red came and forced me to leave. I came to Earth to gather reinforcements to help me fight him, however it didn't work out. Instead, they used my power to cause destructions everywhere. I felt guilty and I wanted to redeem myself by sealing myself. The best will be residing in a sacred gear and I will be giving my power to the kindest person in the world. Your brother will be the one I'm choosing, so that's why I came here to save your brother," Ophis explained, making Yukina shocked. Ophis stood up, prepared to leave. "Wait. Where are you going?" Yukina asked, feeling worried about being alone. "I will be returning. I will meet you again when he was 6 years old. At that time, he was probably able to wield my power," Ophis said, and she teleported away. Yukina found herself back to her home again. She was shocked that her home had added accessories for a baby and even a huge bed for the baby to rest in. She then put Issei on the bed. Without knowing what to do next, she sat there and calmed down for a while. 6 years later. Hyoudou residence. "Ni-san. Play with me. Hide and seek," Issei shouted to Yukina, who was doing household chores. Issei was a cute boy around 1.25 meters with brown eyes and brown hair, same as his sister. He was wearing a red t-shirt and yellow shorts. He ran towards Yukina, who was holding a vacuum cleaner. Yukina put down her vacuum cleaner and patted Issei's head. "Issei, what did I tell you? Ni-san needs to finish the household chores first, right? Issei, be patient, okay?" Yukina said, making Issei felt sad. Tears started to flow from Issei's eyes. "Don't worry, I will play with you. After 2 minutes, okay?" Yukina said, making Issei wipe his eyes, and he looked at Yukina with a happy face. "Promise?" Issei asked. "Of course, my little brother." Yukina smiled. "Yay. Ni-san, I love you." Issei hugged her tightly. Suddenly, a girl appeared at the back of Issei. Yukina looked at that girl, she was shocked. The lowly girl. The same girl she saw 6 years ago, the day of her parents' death. Office? Yukina asked, hoping for the answer. Yeah, it's me. I forgot to ask your name 6 years ago. What is your name? Office asked. My name is Hyoudou Yukina, and this one here is my brother that you are looking for, Hyoudou Issei. Yukina placed her hands around Issei and introduced him to Office. Hello Office-san. I'm Hyoudou Issei. Please take care of me. Issei said, bowing to Office. Issei. Nice to meet you. My name is Office, Ouroboros dragon. The dragon of infinity. Office said with a monotone again. Ugh, this is the same tone that you used 6 years ago. Wait. That's not what I'm going to ask you. Why you are still the girl 6 years ago? Yukina asked with a confused voice. I'm ageless. I can change whoever I want. For example, I can change myself into a 100 years old woman, a baby, teenager as well. Office said while changing her appearance. She changed to an old woman immediately. The woman that she changed was a 100 years old woman. She looks like a reclusive character who was homeless. Her face was time-chiseled and weather-beaten. Wow, Yukina said with amazement. Office turned back to a lowly girl. Yukina looked at Issei, who was shocked just like her. Issei then raised his head to look at Yukina, making her smile as the warmth that Issei's smile delivered made her feel reassured. Now, I will summon his sacred gear and fuse myself in it, Office said, raising her hand ready to seal herself inside Issei's sacred gear. She started to gather energy and summon Issei's sacred gear. Mile away. Surzich's Lucifer, one of the Hyoudou Mayu, felt irregular presence nearby. That presence? Is that Office, Surzich's thought to himself. He was shocked that Office was nearby and she was in an ordinary human world. If her objective is to still find people to kill Great Red. That's bad. I need to stop her now. Surzich's summoned a magic circle trying to teleport himself to Office's location. Hyoudou residence. Issei's sacred gear was forcefully summoned by Office. It was a normal twice critical. However, it was a dragon-type sacred gear which enabled Office to seal herself inside. Now, I will put myself inside the sacred gear. Office began to gather enormous aura. She closed her eyes and raised both of her hands, mumbling something that even Yukina didn't understand. At the same time, Yukina noticed that a magic circle appeared on the ground. However, it was red and it showed the symbol of House of Gremory. A crimson-haired man appeared and faced Office. Office. That's enough. I will stop you, Office. Surzich's shouted while holding a sphere of power of destruction. Surzich's. You cannot stop me. I will put myself inside the sacred gear. Office said, continuing to put her energy inside the twice critical. Stop, Office. Issei cannot handle this sort of power. He will die. Yukina screamed as she didn't want to lose her only brother. Issei meant the world to her since her parents were killed. She raised him, fed him, took care of him all by herself. She couldn't leave Issei to face the supernatural on such a young age. Not willing to lose Issei, she stood in front of Office trying to stop her. Relax, Yukina, he won't die. He was the only one who can wield my power while being kind. Office said, making Surzich's more angry. Stop it, Office. You will just bring catastrophe to this world. I will now stop you so no more innocent people will be involved again. Surzich's shouted with determination. He put his hands on Yukina's shoulder and pulled her back. He threw an orb made of power of destruction towards Office. However, Office's power was immortal that it was impossible for her to get hurt. The orb with great power that Surzich's sent vanished when it almost reached Office. Surzich's then made more bigger and powerful orbs and threw them towards Office while Office was focusing her energy into Issei's sacred gear. Issei felt there was a powerful energy flowing inside his arm as Office continued to send her immortal power towards Issei. Issei's twice critical started to be bright, making Surzich's suffer as it's a devil's weakness. Issei and Yukina had to turn around and close their eyes as it made them uncomfortable as well. After the light started to become dimmer, Issei and Yukina opened their eyes and Surzich's stopped to become painful. Issei then looked at his left arm, although the sacred gear was still in the same shape, the color was different. The gear glowed in a rainbow color except the jewel which remained green, making Surzich's and Yukina shocked about the transformation of it. The new sacred gear is now called Infinity Critical. In the current state, Issei was able to unleash 1/1,000,000th of my original power. But with more and more training, he could be able to have full access of my power, being the next dragon god of infinity. The jewel glowed and a familiar voice could be heard. It was Office's. No way. Issei. Yukina said while being shocked about Issei's new strength. Infinity Dragon Emperor, Hyoudou Issei. The wielder of the newest and the strongest high-tier Longinus Infinity Critical. I can already sense this child's potential and he was holding the fate of this universe at such a young age. Surzich's said feeling scared about Issei. After all, no one had been able to access Ophis' power. Ophis. Ophis. Issei shouted, looking at his infinity critical. Issei, you are my partner starting from today. You need to train yourself to become strong to protect your sister and the ones you love. Don't worry, I will help you train. The green jewel started to glow again as Ophis said to Issei. Ophis. Please don't. My brother is still young. I can't make him do that. Yukina shouted, worrying about her very own brother. Surziches turned to Yukina with shock as he didn't expect this beautiful young woman was Issei's big sister. How rude I am to not introduce myself beforehand. As you know about the supernatural, there were no reason to hide my identity. My name is Surziches Lucifer. I'm a pure-blooded devil from the house of Gremory and one of the 4 great devil kings. As a devil, we had a lifespan of 10,000 years. Our strength and power surpassed normal humankind, that's why I was able to shoot those black sphere. The sphere was created by power of destruction, a power that can make everything into nothingness. Surziches said to Yukina. Yukina couldn't react but felt shocked as the fictional character mentioned in the Bible actually exists. Lucifer? A devil king. Yukina mumbled while looking at him. In the Bible, the name Lucifer had been mentioned. In the past, there were 3 factions fighting. Fallen angel, angel and devils. They had conflicts and fight with each other. In the Great War, many devils, fallen angels and angels were killed during the war. The reason that they stopped was because there were 2 dragons fighting, making the world in an unbalanced state. The world almost destroyed because of these 2 dragons, causing them to cooperate and defeat them. The dragons were the 2 heavenly dragons Drake and Albion. After they were killed, their souls were sealed inside sacred gear. Drake was sealed inside a mid-tier Longinus, boosted gear, and Albion was also sealed inside a mid-tier Longinus, divine dividing. I must let the Infinity Dragon Emperor cooperate with us. Unlike the past generation Mayu, we hoped for peace more than anyone. From the last Great War, many factions were damaged. Our original 4 great devil kings was killed alongside many high-class devils. That's why I need to stop any war to let our kind extinct. Surziches said. But Surziches hesitated. But what? Yukina asked, feeling confused. I need to turn your brother into a devil to make him more powerful. As his current state, even with his infinity critical, he couldn't survive damage from a low-class devil. That's why by reincarnated him into a devil, he could train with us to become more powerful in the future. Wielding such type of sacred gear will make people come for your head, that's why you should be trained and protect yourself and the ones you love. Surziches explained the current situation Issei was in. As Issei indeed possesses super powerful Longinus and the Dragon of Infinity was inside the sacred gear, there must be people who wanted to extract his sacred gear and kill him. Yukina looked at Issei's innocent face, patted his head, and asked. Issei, do you want to become a devil instead of a human? Yukina asked Issei. It does sound fun. One-san, please make me a devil. Issei said. Very well. Thank you, Issei. I'll use evil pieces to reincarnate you into a devil. However, it is still not the time yet. I will call my sister who just became a high-class devil to turn you into a devil. My sister will be your master and you will be her servant. If you disobey her, you will become a stray devil. Do you understand? Surziches said with a strict tone. Yukina was angry about Surziches as she saw this was some kind of threat towards Issei. She ran to her side and hugged him tightly, making sure that he won't be attacked by someone else. However, she was also confused of what Surziches just said. What are evil pieces? Yukina stopped her anger and asked Surziches. After Surziches telling her about evil pieces, she found it interesting. She invited Surziches to sit on the sofa and asked him more about the Devil Society and the Great War. As Surziches finished explaining, he stood up and looked at Yukina. Then I will be coming back for a few days. Good luck, Yukina and the Infinity Dragon Emperor. Surziches said, making a magic circle to teleport himself back to the underworld. A week later, Hyoudou residence. Issei was sitting on the sofa watching TV while Yukina was wearing an apron doing household chores. Now, after you become a devil, you will need to train yourself with Surzich's little sister. Although his sister is no way as strong as he is, you cannot look down on her. After all, she is a noble high-class devil. Make sure to treat her well. Ophis warned Issei. Okay, Issei said. A magic circle appeared near the sofa making Issei look in curiosity. Yukina stopped working on her household chores and ran towards Issei's side to wait for Surzich's arrival. Surzich's appeared, next to him was a beautiful girl with crimson hair. She was wearing a tidy red dress with a gold bracelet on her hands. Hello Yukina, hello Issei. Surzich's waved his hands towards Yukina and Issei. Hello Surzich-sama. Yukina and Issei said together. This is my little sister that I was talking about. She will first live with you guys for a while before turning Issei to a devil. As she loved about Japan, this is also a great opportunity for her to observe the human world. Ria-tan, introduce yourself. Surzicha said looking at Rias. Rias looked at Yukina and bowed. Oni-sama. Please don't call me that name. My name is Rias Gremory, the heir of the house of Gremory. I will be living here for a short while, so please take care of me. Rias raised her hands expecting for a handshake. I'm Hyoudou Yukina, you can just call me Yukina. Welcome. Yukina said shaking Ria's hands. I'm Hyoudou Issei. Please call me Issei. Issei said with a shy tone. He couldn't help but find Rias cute. She never thought there was a girl that could compete or even surpass his sister's beauty. He stared at Rias quite a while, making Rias blushed. Well, since I'm a Mayu, I have some duties to do. I will be leaving now. Please take care of my little sister, despite she was selfish and sometimes quite hard to deal with. Surzicha said while teleport himself to the underworld. At the same time, Ria's cheek was as red as her crimson hair. She was embarrassed of what her brother said. So Rias-chan, since Issei was bored, can you play with him while I prepare dinner? Yukina asked making Issei blushed as he can hang out with a beautiful girl standing beside him. Rias and Issei walked to the garden and played for a while. They got to know each other and went back to the residence. Ever since, they started to get really good friends and even developed feelings towards each other. 2 weeks after. Rias and Issei was playing on the garden again. They were having a great time until Yukina came out and told them to come back. After they came back while holding hands, they saw Surzicha was sitting on the sofa in the living room. Rias immediately blushed as she never thought her brother came to the house without her knowing, most of all, she was holding Issei's hands. Rias, it seems like you are having a good time in the human world. Surzicha laughed as Ria's cheek continued to become redder. Surzicha-sama, they were playing all the time. I can hear lots of laugh from Issei, making me feel happy as Rias was making him enjoy his life. Yukina said making Issei blush as well. That was all thanks to Rias. She helped me train every day. I was able to understand more about my sacred gear's power as she guided me. After training, she will always play with me which made me feel happier all the time. Issei said while blushing. Issei, I need to thank you too. You made me feel happy ever since the day I met you. I was always sad because my position as the heir of Gremory, many people gave me high expectations which made me feel frustrated all the time. But after meeting you, those pressures were gone as I was spending with you. I felt happiness and love when I'm with you, thank you Issei. Rias said as she hugged Issei tightly making Surzicha shocked. Issei, do you love Rias? Surzicha asked Issei. Rias was shocked and covered her face with her hands due to embarrassment. She loved Issei, but she didn't know if Issei loved her as well. She couldn't get the courage to tell Issei her feeling, so the sudden question made her feel scared as she afraid that Issei would reject her. Surzicha-sama, yes. I love Rias with all my heart. Issei said with a shy tone. Although he was embarrassed, he couldn't hide his feelings towards Rias anymore. He loved Rias no matter who she was, as she was the one who gave him a lot of happiness. After Rias heard it, tears of joy starting to stream from her eyes. She kissed Issei on his lips and hugged him tight. Issei. I love you too. Rias said making Issei shocked by her actions. However, he hugged her back and kissed on her cheeks. I never saw Ria-tan this happy before. Wait, this is not why I'm here today. Surzicha thought to himself. Ria-tan, it is time for you to make Issei your servant. Take out your evil piece and check how much piece Issei worth. Surzicha said as Rias nodded and took out her evil pieces. The only that she used was a queen piece. As Issei had a powerful sacred gear, she needed 8 pawn pieces to reincarnate him to a devil. She then took out 8 pawn pieces and placed it on Issei's heart. The pawn pieces began to glow and Rias asked Issei. Are you ready Issei? Yes indeed I am. Ophis, you? Of course I'm ready. Let's go. In the name of Rias Gremory, I call you, Hyoudou Issei, surrender your soul and become my trusted pawn. 8 pieces turned to a crimson color immediately after the ritual. They were mutated as the powerful sacred gear Issei process. The pieces got into his body one by one. But on the last one, the evil piece started to turn into a jet black color, making Surzicha's and Rias shock. The jet black pawn piece flowed into Issei's body as well. Wow Issei, you became a devil, Yukina said with a surprised look. 4 wings appeared behind Issei's back, making Surzicha's and Rias confused even more. Wait. I thought only the original Devil King or the descendant of the original Devil King had 4 devil wings. Why? Rias asked in confusion. Since Issei processed my power, it is normal for him to have 4 wings and the evil piece to be mutated. However, one of the mutated piece turned into the jet black color. In this case, it turned into a super mutation piece, as 8 normal mutated piece cannot accept the power of infinity. A pawn piece needed to be turned to be able to accept Issei's great power. Ophis said making Surzicha's and Rias shocked. Alright. Issei, you had finally reincarnated into a devil. Ria-tan, let us go back to the underworld to continue your training. Surzicha said, walking to Ria's side, but Rias ran to Issei's side and hugged him. No, One-sama. I don't want to leave Issei. Ria shouted, hugging Issei tighter and tighter as she didn't want to leave Issei. Seems like you want to hang out with your new boyfriend. Very well. You couple over there, come with me to the underworld and train. Surzicha then made a magic circle telling Issei and Rias to follow him. Issei. Be safe, alright? Come back as quickly as possible. Yukina ran into Issei's side and gave him a hug. Yes, One-san, I will come back once I finish the training. Issei hugged Yukina back. Issei walked into the magic circle and Surzicha began to teleport him to the underworld. He trained and played with Rias for 10 years, not with the relationship of master and servant, but as a lovely couple. 9 years after. Underworld. Rias grew to be a beautiful and 1.7 meters tall with a voluptuous body. Her crimson hair perfectly matched her beauty, as a result she was considered everyone's ideal girlfriend. Issei became a handsome and 1.76 meters tall man. Her handsome appearance attracts many girls, while boys hated him for his attractiveness. Rias and Issei was sitting on the living room in the Gremory mansion, and Rias decided to tell Issei some big news. Issei, I will be going to the human world and study as a first grader in high school. Rias told Issei, making him feel surprised. And then I guess good luck then. Issei said with no reaction. Rias was kinda angry because Issei didn't react to her sudden leave. She expected Issei to be missing him and much more, but he just simply said like he didn't care. What do you mean by good luck? Rias said with an annoyed tone. Well, I was going to tell you that I would be training with Tannen, the former Dragon King. I will be training over a year and I will be joining the same school as yours, Rias. Issei said, patting Ria's head to make her calm down. Rias kissed Issei on his lips and began to talk about something else. 1 year after. Hyoudou residence. Issei. Remember to bring your school bag. Don't be late on the first day of your school. Okay, One-san, I'll double check my things now. Issei went back to his sister's home after the training. He had trained his body and developed a muscular body. He has great physical and good stamina thanks to Tannen's training. As a result, his fighting abilities were also improved. I'm heading. Issei opened the door and started to walk to his new school, Kuo Academy. It was a girls' only school until 2 years ago as it changed to a co-ed school. When he was walking towards the school gate, people around started to whisper. Oh my god. He is so handsome. A new student. He is as handsome as Prince Kiba. I think he is more handsome, should he be the second prince of Kuo? Not a prince but a king. Girls seemed to be excited about Issei's arrival. Damn it. Another Bishounen. With his existence we will never going to get a girlfriend. Yuck. Go die, you handsome boy. Boys apparently thought differently. Issei went to the general office and finished his registration procedure as a transfer student. After the bell rang, a teacher came to greet Issei. Hello Hyoudou Issei-kun, I'm your homeroom teacher, Asuka-sensei. Please follow me so I can lead you to your classroom. Issei then followed her to the classroom. When he passed by classrooms, many students look at the window to see Issei's handsome appearance. However, Issei didn't care for a bit as he only wanted to meet one person, his love Rias Gremory. He was informed beforehand that Rias was studying in this school. Surzicha secretly put him in the same class as Rias without her even knowing. As Asuka-sensei and Issei walked into their classroom, people started to whisper again. This is definitely weird. Ophis said in Issei's mind. I know, right? So annoying. Issei said in his mind. Is that Rias Gremory? Ophis said, making Issei to look at his new classmates. Issei found a crimson-haired girl chatting with her classmates. He couldn't help but grinned as he finally found the one he loved. Everyone, welcome to class 2B. I'm Asuka, your homeroom teacher. Now, next to me is a new transfer student who just went to school for the first time. Mr. Hyoudou, can you introduce yourself? Asuka-sensei looked at Issei to introduce himself. He nodded and began to speak up. Hello everyone. My name is Hyoudou Issei. A new student in here. Since it is the first time I have ever attended to a school, I will definitely need support to adapt my school life. I hope that we can get along in this year. Please take care of me. Issei said, bowing to his classmates. Now, do any of you have any questions for Issei-kun? Asaka-sensei asked. The girl with glasses raised her hands. After she stood up, Issei noticed that she was wearing a pair of glasses with brown eyes and brown hair. He didn't know why, but he felt that she was probably a pervert. Hyoudou-kun, do you have a girlfriend? The girl asked, making everyone waiting for his answer. Suddenly, another girl stood up. Issei, is that you? Rias Pav. I was chatting with my classmates because this year will be another year of my human world school life. I am so happy but also feel sad as I can't see Issei anywhere. He said that he will be here after his training, but apparently he is not here. Maybe he will be coming in a few days. While I was thinking about it, my homeroom teacher came in and began to introduce herself. I don't care about the introduction, so I continued to chat with my classmates. Until I heard this. Mr. Hyoudou, can you introduce yourself please? Asuka-sensei said it, making me think about who is Mr. Hyoudou. Issei's surname is Hyoudou. So does that mean? Hello everyone. My name is Hyoudou Issei. A new student in here. Since it is the first time I have ever attended to a school, I will definitely need support to adapt my school life. I hope that we can get along in this year. Please take care of me. That was Issei. My lovely Issei. He was finally here. I couldn't react as I was totally shocked. I was stared at him as long as I can. I really missed him. When I heard that the female pervert Kiryuika asked him if he had a girlfriend or not, I jumped out of my shock and stood up. Issei, is that you? I asked, hoping him to be the Issei I know. Third person Pav. Oh hi Rias. That's me. I missed you so much. Issei said, making Rias blush. Rias ran to Issei and hugged him tightly. Everyone was shocked to see this scene. The most beautiful girl in the school just hugged the new transfer student. What? What is your relationship with Riasan? The female pervert asked Issei in disbelief. Yes. Who are you? Why you are hugging Rias? No, I can't make Rias my girlfriend anymore. She is stolen. He is stolen. The boys and girls started to feel sad about the situation. Issei cleared his throat purposely to make everyone silent. Rias ignored other people's comment and still hugged Issei tightly. My girlfriend is the beautiful lady here, Rias Gremory. Issei said, kissing Rias on her forehead. I love you Issei. I missed you so much, Rias said, kissing him back. After a moment of silence. What? After Issei confirmed his love relationship with Rias, everyone in the class freaked out about it. Not only the student, but Asaka-sensei was shocked about it as well. After knowing their relationship, Asaka-sensei made Issei sit next to Rias so he can adapt school life at a faster speed. Moreover, Rias rejected anyone to sit beside her before Issei transferred. Issei-kun, please sit next to Riasan. I thought this will be a good opportunity for Issei-kun to adapt school life easier. Riasan, can you? Asuka-sensei asked Rias, hoping her to accept. She knew Rias was an idol in the school, but she refused to talk to any man or even girls except her club members, the Occult Research Club. She was currently the club president of it. However, if Issei is her boyfriend, then she might be able to accept her request. Rias didn't respond to her question. Instead, she hugged Issei's arm. My seat is over there. Come Issei, sit next to me. Rias said happily as she walked to her seat alongside Issei. Everyone except the couple was jealous that Issei can't sit next to her. But most of all, they still couldn't believe the great one Isama of Kuo actually dated a transfer student, and he is a super handsome one. It made everyone jealous but also happy about their relationship. Recess. The news of Rias and the new transfer student being in a relationship spread like wildfire. Everyone who heard was either in shock or cry, as they will never get a chance to date Rias. Girls were sad about Issei was occupied, but the boys looked down Issei and began to flirt Rias. Rias. Date with me, not this scumbag. A boy with 1.78 meters with a fine physique pointed at Rias. Rias just stood up staring at him, making him scared as he knew if he pissed off the great one Isama of Kuo, he would probably get killed by either boys or girls. Once that guy retreated, Rias sighed and looked at Issei. Issei was currently looking outside the window wondering something. Rias then went towards his side and hugged him behind. Issei felt her large bust on his back and feeling embarrassed as Rias did such bold action. Not only he felt surprised, but also everyone didn't know Rias was this daring. So Issei, you have become more muscular, huh? Rias whispered on Issei's ear with a seductive tone. Come on Rias, with a year training, this is a normal right. Besides, you are too bold. Everyone is staring at us. I don't mind being bold as long as I'm with you. You know I love you, right? Rias said, hugging him tighter. Issei looked around and began to worry. Yeah, I get it, so please stop as I think they are going to kill me, Issei begged to make Rias broke the hug. Issei turned around and saw a lot of faces. All boys were staring at him with killing intent and girls were staring his muscular body and praised it. Some girls were also sad as the new handsome transfer student was Rias' boyfriend, they could do nothing but accept the truth. He looked at Rias after looking at everyone's reaction. She put a sad face which makes Issei felt guilty about breaking the hug. To comfort her, he put his left hand on Rias' cheek and the right hand on her head to pat her. Rias gave a bright smile and then put her right hand on top of Issei's left hand. I. Boys around started to mumble. Oh my god, I never see Riasama behave this way. He must be a terrific guy. Not only his handsome appearance, apparently he had a great personality too. He is the perfect boyfriend. Girls seemed to be satisfied with their actions. Rias ignored them as usual and she told Issei about the school. She hugged his hands, pulling him to walk around the whole school. Although Issei learned about it, the surrounding people were looking at him on either a shocked face or a killing gaze. This school is lively, isn't it? Ophis said in Issei's mind. Yeah. Why was I targeted just because I'm dating Rias? This is so broken, Issei said, and he sighed in real life. Issei, what happened? Rias asked in curiosity as Issei suddenly sighed. This school was way too lively, Issei said, making Rias laugh at his honesty. Issei, just ignore them. This school had way too many gossips and I never care a single one of them. Although I don't care, I still feel frustrated about what rumors they had been spreading. But now you are here, I can be reassured of my time here now. Rias said excitedly, making Issei smile. They walked into class 2A and everyone was wondering why they were here. Rias was planning to introduce her queen to Issei. They walked on the side of a girl with a long ponytail and a voluptuous figure that could compete with Rias. She was reading a book before Rias and Issei stepped in. Issei held Ria's hand as she knew there will definitely be boys trying to flirt his precious girlfriend and he couldn't accept that. Rias walked with Issei to her queen's side with a slight blush. The girl looked at both of them with shock. She also found Issei attractive, but seeing Rias held a man's hand, she could guess they were not in a healthy relationship. Akeno, this is my pawn, also my lover I always mentioned. Issei, introduce yourself. Rias looked at Issei, telling him to introduce himself. Akeno was shocked about it. Hello, my name is Hyoudou Issei. Call me Issei is fine. I'm Ria's boyfriend as well as her only pawn. Please take care of me as we're serving the same master. Issei said, trying to lower his voice as they were the only devils here. Akeno then stood up and began to introduce herself. My name is Himejima Akeno. I'm Ria's queen as well as her best friend. Please take care of me as well. Akeno offered a handshake and Issei gladly accepted. Issei, you will be joining the Occult Research Club as it is the headquarters for us to do the devil works and contracts. I will go to the base room with you after school. Rias said and Issei nodded. So Issei-kun, are you the rumored wielder of the Longinus Infinity Critical? Akeno said shyly as she was attracted by Issei's handsome face. Rias was confused when Akeno acted like that. Yes. Inside my sacred gear, the former dragon god Ophis was residing in it. I will show you my sacred gear after school. Issei said, making Akeno shocked. So you are the first reincarnated devil to have a super mutation piece inside your body, Akeno mumbled, and Issei nodded. Ring 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 ring. Seems it is time for the lesson. I will see you guys after school. Akeno waved her hands towards the couple who were leaving. After school. I never thought the school was this fun. Issei said with a face full of satisfaction. Yeah, especially I'm with you, Issei, I have so much fun. Rias said as she stood up. The couple began to walk towards the old school building. During the walk, Issei asked about Ria's peerage. So as far as I know, you never told me about your new peerage members except your queen. What pieces do you have right now? Issei asked. Now what I have left are a knight, a bishop, and a rook. I couldn't find suitable candidates for those pieces. Rias began to be sad as she really wanted to complete her peerage. It is okay. You will definitely gather all of your servants. Since the Gremory household was famous for love, many people will like to become your servant. Issei comforted Rias, making her kiss him on his cheek. Thank you, Issei. You are the most precious servant. Rias said, leaning her head on Issei's shoulder. They arrived in the old school building, the base room of the Occult Research Club. Issei was shocked to see the base room as it was a rather huge one. There was a large desk, 2 sofas. On the couches, there were a blonde-hair guy and a white-hair girl sitting on it. The blonde-hair guy was handsome, but he couldn't compete with Issei. The girl was cute and Issei felt she was no ordinary devil. The girl over there. Ophis said in Issei's mind. Yeah, I can feel it, Issei said, beginning to think about the identity of the girl. Welcome to the Occult Research Club. Basically, the existence of the Occult Research Club was to hide our identity as a devil. Since Issei you just transferred here, you will join the Occult Research Club as your first and the only club you are going to participate. Now, you haven't met my knight and my rook. Hyoudou, Kaneko, please introduce yourselves. Rias said, and the two of them nodded. The blonde-hair guy stood up and bowed to Issei. My name is Hyoudou. I'm from class 2C and I'm a knight of Rias Butchu. I have a sacred gear and it is called Sword Birth. I can create any demonic sword with my magic power, but I still haven't unlocked my balance breaker. Anyway, nice to meet you. Kiba said with a respectful tone. The white-hair girl also stood up and bowed to Issei. My name is Hyoudou Kaneko. I'm from class 1A and I'm a rook of Rias Butchu. Please take care of me from now on. Kaneko said, making Issei confused about her abilities. After they had introduced themselves, Issei went silent for a while. He can feel that Kaneko was powerful, but she was definitely hiding her identity. Was she afraid of her power or was she doing it purposely? Hey, Issei, go ahead and introduce yourself. You are being rude now, you know. Ophis said, telling Issei to begin his introduction as soon as possible. My name is Hyoudou Issei. I'm a new transfer student from class 2B and I'm Ria's only pawn. I consumed 7 mutation pieces and 1 super mutation piece to become a devil. Issei stated the fact of making Kiba and Kaneko shocked. Rias over there made a proud face. Issei then focused his mind on summoning his sacred gear. The color and the shape of the sacred gear made Kiba confused as he had never seen this type of sacred gear. This is the Infinity Critical. I'm the first wielder of this new high-tier longinus. Inside the sacred gear, the former dragon god Ophis was resting inside. Ophis, say something. Issei said looking at the sacred gear. Hi everyone, I'm Ophis, the former dragon god and the dragon of infinity. Ophis said making Issei confused. Ophis, is this an introduction? Issei asked, thinking about the introduction was too brief. Yeah, I don't know what should I talk about. You had basically told everything I had to say. Ophis said making Issei sigh. Okay. Let me continue my introduction then. I'm the Infinite Dragon Emperor and Ria's boyfriend. Issei said putting his hands on the back of his head. Rias blushed and happy about Issei's introduction. However, Kiba and Kaneko were in shock once again. They couldn't believe their president never told him about her having a boyfriend and the mysterious pawn was the Infinity Dragon Emperor. There was another moment of silence until Akeno opened the door. She saw Rias blushed. Issei stood there confused. Kiba and Kaneko were shocked, putting a no face. Ara, what's going on here? Akeno asked with her usual ara tone. Well, Issei just introduced himself. He surprised Kiba and Kaneko of Issei's identity as the Infinite Dragon Emperor. He also mentioned the fact that I'm his girlfriend, which made me. Ria said while covering herself with her hands. She was still happy about Issei's introduction. Ifufu, what a romantic couple. Issei-kun, do you mind me to make some tea for you? Rias enjoyed drinking my tea as well as everyone else in the club, so I think you will like it as well. Akeno said, offering Issei to drink a tea. Of course. I can't wait to drink your tea. Rias, come here as well. I will drink the tea with you. Issei said, making Rias leave her chair and went to Issei's side. When Akeno went inside a room behind the president's desk to make her tea, Issei and Rias walked towards the sofa. After they sat down, Rias was still happy about Issei and she leaned on Issei's shoulder. Issei knew that Rias was pleased, so he decided to put his left hand around her. Rias couldn't be happier when Issei put his hands around her and she hugged Issei suddenly. Issei smiled and looked at Kiba and Kaneko. They never saw that their president fell in love like this. They were still in total shock and they didn't know what to do. Akeno came out with a cart of tea and she giggled of the current scene. Rias broke the hug immediately when she saw Akeno as she felt embarrassed. Akeno went to Issei's side and took a cup of tea from the cart and gave it to him. Issei showed a smile to Akeno and drank it with expectations. He drank some of them and he tried to taste the tea as much as he can. He thought that it was good and he just sat there without saying anything. However, Rias and Akeno didn't know what happened and they started to ask Issei various questions. Issei, is it okay? Rias asked, but Issei still didn't respond. Issei-kun, do you like it? Akeno asked with a worried tone as she thought Issei disliked it. Issei still didn't respond as he was still intoxicated by the taste of Akeno's tea. Rias began to worry and she pulled Issei's cheek. Ouch. Issei finally said something and Rias sighed. Issei-kun, do you not like it? Akeno said looking down. No, this is unexpectedly good. You are really good at making tea. Thank you, Akeno-san. Issei said, smiling towards Akeno, making her blush. However, the crimson-haired girl next to Issei began to release scary aura. Issei, if you want to drink tea, I can make you tea every day. Rias growled as she felt jealous. But you, Issei-kun, liked my tea. We know that your tea is no way as good as mine, right? Akeno said, teasing Rias, making Rias angrier. Akeno, I am going to practice my skills and let Issei taste the best tea in the world. Rias shouted as she was devastated about Akeno's statement. Seeing the argument, Issei got a sweat drop as he didn't know what happened. Stupid Akeno. No, Issei-kun, just enjoy my tea after all. Why you're being so stingy? No. Issei is mine. Mine alone. And he will definitely love my tea. I didn't say I will steal Issei from you, did I? Akeno. Just give up. What? Akeno continued to tease her master, almost making her explode. Suddenly, a light stopped them. A communicate circle appeared on the table. A crimson-haired man with an appearance similar to Surzich's appeared on it. Rias, there is a stray devil nearby. Her name is Visor and you need to bring your peerage and kill the stray devil as she messed around the town. From the evil peace tracker, she was now resting in an abandoned country not far away from your school. Please go and kill this devil who betrayed her master. Aware that this stray devil was a rather powerful one, her level was on par of a high-class devil. Please be careful. The man said, and the communication circle disappeared without any responses from Rias. Stupid father. Alright, since this is Lord Grimmery's order, my adorable servants, let us go and kill this stray devil. Rias shouted excitedly. Hi but you. Rias created a magic circle and teleported her peerage to the abandoned factory. However, there was no one when they arrived. In an abandoned factory. Issei summoned his infinity critical and prepared for an attack. After a while, an object flew towards them with a high speed. Issei stopped it using his power, making the person who threw the object impressed. Come out, stray devil. I know you threw this big silver can. Issei shouted, making the devil came out slowly. The devil was a girl with a reasonably large bust. However, she soon turned into a disgusting monster. Stray devil visor. As you betrayed your master, your punishment is death. In the name of Duke Grimmery, I will perish you. Rias shouted, and she looked at her knight and rook, who responded with a nod. Since Kiba was a knight, his trait had fast speed and great techniques to fight the opponent. However, his defenses are weak, and if he were careless, he would be easily defeated. On the other hand, Kaneko is a rook who had a good defense and hold great power. However, she was slow in speed, so opponents could be able to escape quickly. Kiba used his sacred gear to create a demonic sword. He rushed towards Visor trying to deal damage. Visor hit him easily, making him fall. However, Kiba created another demonic sword, and this was a more powerful one. He did the same thing again, and this time, both of them were injured. Visor took out her blade and began to fight Kiba. Kiba realized it was impossible to confront her directly, so he ran around her, hoping her to get lost of him. This was rather a good strategy. Using your speed to hide yourself. Visor said with a sarcastic tone. Kiba ran for a while, and he found a spot that he can attack. He flew towards Visor and began to slash her. You're wide open. Too naive. Visor was able to keep up his speed, and she destroyed his sword using her blade. His sword was shattered into pieces, making him shocked. He created another more powerful demonic sword and breathed heavily. He was surprised that Visor was able to attack him even though he used his best attack and she could destroy his sword effortlessly. He retreated, hoping Kaneko can deal with him. Kaneko ran to Visor's side and held her legs with her bare hands. She swung Visor for a few rounds and threw Visor. However, Visor used her demonic energy to land safely. So you're a rook. Great defense and attack power, but poor speed. She rushed to Kaneko's side and gave her a great punch. Even though Kaneko was a rook, she couldn't handle that particular punch. Kaneko was pushed to the ground, being injured. She tried her best to get up and gave Visor another mighty blow. But Visor blocked with her bare hands. You can only do this. You are too weak to fight me. Visor exclaimed and kicked Kaneko away. The girl was holding back. It was too obvious. If she had used her power, she would have won easily. Ophis began to confused. Issei was doubting about it too, but as Kaneko was being attacked, he began to worry about his allies. When Visor gave her a critical blow, he finally stepped up to confront the monster himself. Visor. You hurt my friend. My cowhide. I will not forgive you. Issei shouted, emitting a scary aura, making everyone scared. The aura he emitted was immense, as it was close to an ultimate class devil. Ready to kill this shit? Ophis asked. Yeah, let's do this. When Issei was ready to attack, Akeno put her hand on Issei's shoulder and pulled him back. Ara, it seems like you really want to help them. However, I will have to demonstrate my power first, Akeno said, and Rias nodded. Akeno summoned her wings and flew on top of Visor. She noticed that Visor was looking at her with a dull face. It made her more exciting as she wanted to give punishments towards that stray devil. Visor-kun. You are so daring to leave your master. This is an action of a bad kid, and a bad kid needs to be punished, so now bad kid Visor, I am going to punish you, Akeno said while forming lightning with her finger, showing a sadistic smile. Akeno pointed her finger towards Visor. She fired some lightning to Visor, making her tremble. Ah! Stop! Visor screamed as she couldn't endure the pain from Akeno's holy lightning. If you scream more so I can enjoy, beg me for mercy, Akeno said, making Issei scared about her. She is a huge SM fan. When she was fighting an enemy, the sadistic side of her activates immediately. Don't worry, she treats her friend well, so you don't expect her to do that to you. Rias said while Akeno was still making Visor suffer. Visor was apparently taking damage as Akeno kept sending lightning to attack him. However, Visor tightened her fist and released an abnormal wave to stop her assault. Akeno was blown away by the wave and she almost lost her balance. As she regained balance, she saw that Visor was looking on the floor. She started to emit a dark green aura. Unforgivable. unforgivable. Who do you think I am? Visor screamed and began to transform herself. She turned into a three-head monster. Her breasts were placed in a weird spot close to her belly and her body was slimy. She fired some slime shots towards Akeno, making her clothes melt. Akeno's large breasts were exposed, making Issei blush. However, he turned and looked at Visor, feeling disgusted about this dirty move. Wow, you just crossed the line, did you? Such a pervert. Well, anyway, I'm going to avenge for my vice president. Office. Issei shouted, raising his left hand. Infinity boost. Issei's infinity critical shouted. Wait. Infinity boost, Rias exclaimed. Does that mean Issei-kun inherit the power of infinity this early? Kiba shouted as he couldn't believe Issei just wielded immense strength. However, that was not the case. Since the original twice critical can only double the user's power once only, the user will be rather weak. However, since this sacred gear was made of my ability, when Issei boosts his power, he can choose any times of boost he liked. No one was able to figure it out how many boosts he did. Although he can boost his power to unlimited, right now it will make him suffer as he still couldn't handle it. He still has a long way to go before processing my original power. Office explained. I boosted 100 times. I still cannot fully control this power as too much power made me suffer. Issei said, making Rias and others shocked about his strength. Also, since I'm immortal, Issei is also immortal. Any damage won't cause him injured as the wound will regenerate itself to protect him. Office said, making Rias shock even more. Since when did Issei inherit this kind of strength? Despite all those years of training, he was still trying to master a single bit of his power. What had he gone through to get this kind of strength? Rias thought, thinking about Issei's power. Not only Issei's physical abilities were increased, but also his attack. Suddenly, he vanished, surprising everyone. Visor tried her best to feel Issei's presence, however, it was a total fail. Wait, where was he? Did he use his power to transparent himself? No, that's not it. He must be planning to attack me. Visor thought. After a few seconds, Issei suddenly appeared next to Visor's side. Gotcha, Issei said. He gave her a hard punch on her stomach, making her spill blood everywhere. Not only that, but she has also punched far away and she damaged the properties next to her. The punch was so too great that made the properties broke and created some smoke. After the smoke faded, Visor was painfully leaning on the wall and couldn't move at all. Her head was reduced to one and one of her hands were destroyed. Doing such damage, the Gremory household could say nothing but surprised by Issei's strength. What is this power? Visor screamed while in shock. She was scared about Issei's sacred gear. Most of all, it was the rumored longiness that not even God could create. It was ironic though, as God created the sacred gear system. Rias, you might be wondering, when did I able to use this power? Before the training with Tannen, I couldn't unlock balance breaker, causing me difficulty to handle. However, during the training, Tannen almost killed me, making me tried all my best to survive. As I was willing to survive more than anything, I was able to unlock my balance breaker. It made me so much easier to control my power in both base form and armored form. Issei explained to Rias to solve her confusion. Since you are my master, you should be the one who kills her, Issei said. She nodded and walked towards Issei's side and began to gather the power of destruction on her hands. Stray devil Visor, do you have anything to say before your death? Rias asked. No. Just kill me, Visor said with a tone of frustration. She already gave up when she witnessed Issei's immense power. Very well. In the name of Duke Gremory, I will now perish you. Goodbye, stray devil. Rias said, and she threw her orb made of power of destruction towards Visor. Visor was sucked inside the orb and her body began to perish part by part. She screamed as it was excruciating. Although it was cruel, it was no way as brutal as what she did to human. She suffered her own medicine and this was well deserved. After a few seconds, the scream stopped and there was nothing left. That was tiring. Issei sighed. Rias and the rest of her peerage except Issei were still in confusion about Issei's real power. Although this was expected, they never thought the power of infinity was this strong. Also, Issei wasn't using his full power to fight a high-class devil. Issei looked at them, finding their reaction funny. Hahaha. I should really take my camera and take a photo of this. I will explain what happened during the training to solve your confusion. Now, let us go back to the base room and take our school bags. Issei said, making Rias create a magic circle to teleport themselves back to the old school building. The Cult Research Club base room. Issei grabbed his school bag and walked towards the door. When he proceeded to leave, he saw Rias was staring at him, hoping for something. Is anything okay, Rias? Issei asked. Issei, if you don't mind, can I ask you something? Rias asked, being blushed. Sure, my love, what do you want to ask? Issei said. Here is the thing. Since you're back, I was wondering, can I live with Hyoudou? Rias asked, feeling embarrassed about it. Issei found her reaction cute and he walked towards Issei's side. Rias was looking at Issei with a face of rejection. When he was walking towards her, she couldn't do anything but tremble. Issei hugged her and gave her a kiss on her neck. "Sure my dear, Wani-san wouldn't mind. After all, what's mine is yours," Issei said, making Rias blush even more. Rias regained her composure and dismissed everyone. After Akeno, Kiba and Kaneko left, Rias and Issei walked to his home. Hyoudou residence. When they arrived, Issei clicked a button which made the bell ring. Rias was nervous to see Yukina again, but Issei just patted her head and said, "Rias, she treated you like her own family as well. I don't think she will have a problem with it. You can even share the same room with me if you want to," Issei said, making Rias embarrassed. The door slowly opened. A woman with brown hair and brown eyes appeared. She was wearing an apron and looked beautiful with it. Although Yukina was in her mid-20s, she still didn't lose her beauty all those years. In fact, she seemed more mature than before. "Welcome back, Issei. Oh wait, is this Riasan? It had been so long since I met you," Yukina said, hugging Issei. She looked at Rias and gave her a big warm hug as well. "Nice to meet you again, Yukina-san. If you may, can I stay here while living in the human world?" Rias asked, immediately bringing the topic. "Oh, sure. Your old room was still here so you can use it," Yukina said, feeling happy about Rias' decision on living there again. She always felt like Rias was her little sister, so she gladly let her stay. Rias then bowed, appreciating Yukina's acceptance. However, since she really wanted to sleep with Issei, she rejected the offer on living in a spare room. "Thanks, Yukina-san. However, I think I would be sharing the same room with Issei. After all, I'm both his master and girlfriend, so I must look after him," Rias said, and Yukina nodded. "I understand. Please come in now," Yukina said, walking back into the house, inviting Rias and Issei. Rias took her stuff to Issei's room. Inside Issei's room, there was a desk on the left for Issei to study. On the right, there was a small bed which can only fit for one people. Rias was sad as she couldn't sleep with Issei with this kind of bed, however, she thought of a solution. She summoned a magic circle. The magic circle was large enough to cover the whole bed, or even more prominent. She placed the magic circle on top of the bed, and the bed slowly to become more significant to fit two people. Issei was shocked about what Rias just did. She freaking made his bed larger. Issei put down Rias' stuff inside. He took out his pajamas to take a shower. After Issei left the room, Rias began taking her stuff out to decorate the room. She took out some Japanese toys and placed them on top of Issei's bookshelf. Other than that, she also took out some famous Japanese building model, such as Himeji Castle, Nijiman Castle and so on. After Issei came back, he was shocked that the room was full of Japanese building models and photos about Japanese culture. Issei knew that she loved Japanese culture and was always obsessed with books about Japanese traditional etiquette. When she stayed with him 10 years ago, she would always tell Issei to buy some Japanese model for her. After Rias placed all of her collection, she took out a dress and went to take a shower. Issei looked at the collection carefully and realized they were all high quality. However, one photo, in particular, caught his attention. The picture of him, Yukina and Rias. They were next to a dinner table taking a selfie. 10 years ago. Hyoudou residence. 5432.1.0. "Rias, I'm going to catch you," Issei shouted. Issei and Rias were in the garden playing hide and seek. It was Issei's favorite game. Rias was hiding behind a bush and trying to hide her presence with demonic power. Issei searched for a lot of places, like under a chair, behind bushes and so on. After a few minutes, Issei began to explore inside the bush. It took him some minutes to finally find Rias. "Wow. I catch you," Issei said when he found Rias. "Wow. Issei, you are so good in this game," Rias praised Issei, making him blush. "I just have a lot of experience, that's all," Issei said while hiding his blushed cheek. "Now, I will be the catcher. Issei, find the best spot to hide as I'm sure that I will catch you," Rias said, covering her eyes to begin the countdown. "Issei. Rias-chan. It is time for lunch. Come," Yukina shouted, making both of the kids stopped. They walked to the residence together and they saw a lot of delicious meals. Next to the meals, there was a camera that caught Issei's curiosity. "Wani-san, what is this thing?" Issei said, holding and looking at it. "This is a camera. It is used to keep precious memories, so that's why you know the face of our dad and mum," Yukina said, beginning to cry. However, Issei hugged her and said, "Don't worry, Wani-san. We are not lonely anymore. You see, we have Rias," Issei said, making Yukina realize how naive Issei was. However, it was not a bad thing as he made her better. Yukina paused for a while and thought of an idea. "How about we take a selfie?" Yukina asked. "Yukina-san, what is a selfie?" Rias asked in curiosity. "It is a way to take a photo and we have to hold the camera by reversing the direction," You see, the camera lens should be facing us to take a selfie. Yukina explained, making Rias and Issei wanted to know about more. How about we take a selfie? Yukina said, holding the camera, and raised her hands. Rias and Issei followed as they stood next to each other and gave a victory pose. After the photo was taken, Yukina printed out the picture. Rias, I wanted you to keep this, Yukina said, giving her the photo. Rias accepted it, and she saw this was a memorial of her living in the human world for the first time. She quickly ran into her room and placed it on her bags. Back to present time. Hyoudou residence. We were too young back then, a lot of things had happened during those 10 years. Issei said, feeling sad that time had passed by within a blink of the eye. After a while, Rias came back naked. Issei was immediately attracted to her sexy body, almost had a nosebleed. As he was afraid that his male urge will come up, he told Rias to wear something. Rias giggled of Issei's reaction and wore the transparent dress that she brought before the shower. Issei, sleep first. I need to write a report to the Gremory house, so it will take time. You had done an excellent job on killing that stray devil, so you deserved a rest. Rias said, kissing Issei on his lips. Thanks, Rias. You had done a good job as well. As expected, as the woman I love the most. Issei said, making Rias blush. Then good night, Rias, I love you, Issei said. I love you too, Issei. Rias said, putting her hands on her cheeks. As Rias left the room, Issei began to sleep. 1 hour after. Rias finished writing her report and she was walking to her room to sleep. When she opened the door, she saw Issei peacefully sleeping on his own. Most of all, he was half naked. Rias smiled when she saw Issei's muscular body and his cute face. After staring at him for a while, she dressed in her birthday suit and lay on the bed next to Issei. She hugged Issei tightly and embraced him with her soft breasts. She also leaned her head on top of Issei's chest, feeling Issei's warmth. Wow, Issei's chest is comfortable to lean on. At this point I won't be able to leave him alone, Rias said, hugging Issei tighter. Rias soon slept while hugging Issei as her own personal body pillow. End of the here. So that's it for today's video, guys. Before you go, just like the video and share it with your friends. Bye.